This was a side trip. We didn't have this trip planned, but we decided to go ahead and just throw this in the itinerary because it fit. But we don't have much time here. We wish we had a couple more days. It looks like we could easily spend a couple of days here and do some hiking and kayaking. There's several lakes in here that you can kayak on and go fishing in. Our drive to Mount St. Helens was added in our Washington State Wilderness Adventure as a quick detour road trip. As we traveled from Mount Rainier to Cannon Beach, we just couldn't pass up the opportunity to experience the devastation and beauty that Mount St. Helens cliffsides and valleys have to offer. After 123 years of admiring beauty since its last eruption, on March 20th, 1980, Mount St. Helens decided to wake up, and between March 20th and May 17th, there were over 10,000 earthquakes and steam explosions that caused fractures in the volcano that allowed molten rock to begin rising to the surface. Unlike many volcanoes when they erupt, Mount St. Helens had a plan of its own. Rather than erupting into the air above, as with most volcanic eruptions, Mount St. Helens' north side of the mountain was pushed outward with sheer force. This triggered a lateral blast which caused a massive 50 to 80 mile per hour mud flow of hot rocks, pumice, gas, melted snow, and ice that devastated the valleys below when it erupted on May 18, 1980. These mud flows transformed 150,000 acres of beautiful land and lush forests within hours. The Mount St. Helens eruption caused the most powerful volcanic eruption in the history of the United States that killed 57 people. Within 15 minutes after the eruption, burning ash, pumice, and gas skyrocketed 15 miles into the atmosphere, and soon after, 520 million tons of ash began to fall down at 4 surrounding states that covered 22,000 square miles. This ash caused complete darkness 250 miles away in Spokane, Washington. In addition to forest damage, there was also 3 logging camps, 22 crew buses, 30 log trucks, 39 railroad cars, 650 miles of roads, 19 bridges, and 16 miles of railroad were all buried in ash or washed away in the blast zone. It is amazing how something so peaceful right now can turn to such devastation. Mount St. Helens, when it erupted, it took all the trees out within several miles. So that's why you only see a gap of trees. It's what has grown in the last 40 years. It's hard to imagine something that has that much force, that creates that much devastation, but produce so much beauty at the same time. I was only about 5 years old or so when it erupted, maybe 6. So I don't remember it, but I'm sure many of you remember seeing it on the news. And some of you may even have seen it in person.
It's nice to see, though, the nature's making a comeback.
Coldwater Lake, Castle Lake, Spirit Lake, and Silver Lake were all created by past eruptions of Mount St. Helens. While these lakes were formed from such devastation, they also provide much needed nutrients and growth that promotes new life and hope for the beautiful lush landscape that is still emerging today. However, somehow life survived underground, under snow, and behind protected mountain ridges, and with a little help from man, a lush forest is now returning.
The water is very clear and very blue. It's very pristine looking. A little fisherman out there in a little boat. So they must let you fish in here. One of these days, I'll climb that mountain.
Today, the untrained eye will have trouble seeing the devastation that Mount St. Helens caused over 40 years ago. Forests are beginning to rise again, and wildlife can be seen grazing through the valleys, drinking from streams, and fishermen can be seen in the nearby lakes. One day, Mount St. Helens will once again unleash its power and devastate the newly created forest, and the cycle of life will start all over again. Hopefully, we will be able to make it back here to hike to the top of Mount St. Helens before she decides to erupt and start the rebirth process all over again.
So Tina, what did you think of Mount St. Helens?
It was neater than I thought it was going to be, actually.
I thought it was pretty impressive.
It was.
But we need to head back. We need to make it to Seaside Beach tonight for the sunset. We'd much anticipated like to see that. Tina's never seen the Pacific Ocean. So we're gonna hang out on the beach tonight. Maybe have a little ice cream or have a little sandwich or whatever, and check in at our hotel at Seaside Beach. We'll pick you back up after we get checked in at the hotel this evening and get ready to have some dinner. Anything you want to add, Tina? All right. We look forward to seeing you later.